right, it looks like we're going to have a UFO hearing in the very near future, so let's talk about it. Get in here, this is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Yeah, so Matt Laszlo at Ask a Poll catches up to Anna Paulina Luna and asks her some questions. He starts with asking her about the Wall Street Journal article, and then we get into the next UFO hearing. So let's just give a listen.
Hey, ma'am, did you see that Wall Street Journal article?
No.
You haven't seen it yet?
Is it the one that said that the Pentagon is responsible for the fake UFO campaign?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, especially based on what you guys heard at the FBI.
So my thing is that I don't actually like the work that Arrow has done. I think that Arrow's done a really terrible job.
Yeah.
And I think that there's other agencies that have done way better jobs and have been more transparent. And I think that we need to save money, and Arrow is a part of that problem. So.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, because a lot of that seemed like it came from Kirkpatrick.
Oh yeah,
and
100%. I actually would completely disagree, and I think that they're, based on the testimony and the evidence, videos and photos I've seen, I think that they're incorrect in their analysis, and I think that it's also pretty sad that they would try to gaslight millions of Americans.
Yeah.
So.
Does this change the direction of where you want to go with the next public hearing?
No.
Nope. Any expectation on when that might be?
Yeah, we're actually working on getting the dates for that, but we're thinking after the July 4th weekend.
Oh, nice. So before August.
Yeah. And there's some other stuff. Remember, we had our SCIF briefing. I'm trying to get some other members back into the SCIF.
That's right.
There are some people that were not there that are a part of the task force that have asked to see the information to include some of the Democrats. So.
Have you heard from any of those, like whistleblowers, since that article came out? No. Cool. I'll be watching.
Okay, so there you go. We're going to get another UFO hearing in Congress. At least that's what they're working on after the 4th of July, but before August. That is awesome. Of course, they've thrown out dates before. They have. We were supposed to get a UFO hearing before now, and it didn't happen. So we'll see if this one shakes out or not. Fingers crossed. But if it does happen, who are they going to bring forward? Is it going to be somebody like Jake Barber? Jake Barber would make perfect sense. It would follow the same trajectory as David Grush, who came out first in an interview with Ross Coulthart, and then proceeded on to give an interview with Congress. And he actually submitted that interview with Ross, into the record. So could the same happen with Jake Barber? I think that's very likely that he would be one of the witnesses called forward. However, some of his testimony does get kind of out there. Being in touch with this feminine entity that's somehow linked to the craft, or one of the craft that he was transporting, the 8 Gong. So is Congress going to go there? Are they really going to go there? Are they going to bring somebody forward that's going to give that sort of testimony? I don't know. Maybe they could bring him forward and have him testify to the nuts and bolts stuff and the crash retrievals and so on, but leave out the psionic stuff and the psychic communications with beings part of it. That could be one way to go and one way to approach Jake Barber, but it does open him up to debunks from the nuts and bolts crowd who don't quite understand that we're not dealing with strictly a nuts and bolts situation when we're dealing with UFOs. Who else could they bring forward? Matthew Brown would be a good one. I would love to see him come out and testify. Of course, he's not a first-hand participant or witness like Jake Barber is, who actually was a pilot doing crash retrievals. He was actually doing it. So, I would love to see Matthew Brown give his testimony on Immaculate Constellation and whatever else he can bring out. And it would make sense to bring Matthew Brown out since they've already entered Immaculate Constellation into the record. Of course, then they may or may not have to get into the ins and outs of the, drama between Michael Schellenberger and Jeremy Corbell and Nancy Mace. But if they avoided talking about that, if they found a way to avoid talking about that, they might bring him forward because, again, it would make sense for them to bring him forward because of the Immaculate Constellation connection. But, again, he's not a first-hand participant. So who else would you like to see brought forward that's in the public eye that we know about? somebody like Jason Sands, but then you get into some pretty wild territory, actually meeting beings, possibly being involved in the Twinian back program or something analogous to that. Who else could come forward? Possibly the Border Patrol agent that leaked the UFO footage, 4 UFO videos, over several years, and he came out recently in an interview with Ross Coulthart. So that's another possibility. Government guy, credible government guy with a good background, very possible person to bring forward. Of course, not a direct participant or witness in any of the government, involved operations like retrievals or reverse engineering. But he said that he knew of 100 people that had seen these objects over the course of his career. So, an interesting person to bring forward, and some of the videos that he was able to get out there were really intriguing videos, like the rubber duck video, which, people want to debunk that, but it's been analyzed and found to be an anomalous craft. And it's a very long video, and he put out several of those. So, yeah, it would be an interesting person to bring forward. But it's also very likely that we would get somebody that we've never heard of. And maybe that would be even better. Get some of these people that are directly involved in reverse engineering craft. That would be amazing. It seems like David Grush was actually able to interview some of those people, and they should be able to use David Grush's information now that he's a staffer for Eric Burleson, theoretically, to bring those people forward. Get those names if they don't have them already. And again, I don't quite understand why they don't have those already, since at least 2 or 3 of these congresspeople, and I think more, have been in a skiff with David Grush's information. Not David himself, but with his information. They were able to get into that skiff. However, it's possible that the names of his interviewees, his witnesses, were not involved in that information, that it was a very limited amount of information they were able to get out of that. They'll also be able to get locations, which is where it gets really exciting, when they can start knocking on doors and opening doors and get, the public's eyes, theoretically, on some frickin' UFOs and some frickin' ARVs, some, of the UFO control group's own anomalous or advanced craft that we know that they have. So let me know who you think would be an amazing witness. We know the last time around at the Lou Elizondo hearing, the Michael Schellenberger Lou Elizondo hearing, that there was some interference behind the scenes, that they wanted to bring forward some of these direct participants and they weren't able to. So I imagine there's a lot of interference and shenanigans going on behind the scenes this time as well. So, fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. I'm encouraged that Anna is speaking out against Arrow and the lovely Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick. She knows that they are full of BS, and she knows that the Wall Street Journal, of course, is BS. Very likely, in my mind, part of a coordinated disinformation campaign, since it wasn't just the Wall Street Journal, it was the New York Post and at least one other publication. So, this, media... coordinated media campaign or disinformation to say that all UFO sightings or conspiracies, if you will, can be explained by, hazing rituals and disinformation, which of course is, doesn't even make sense when you look at it even for like 5 minutes. But yeah, it is what it is, and they're going to do what they're going to do. And to me, it's actually a good thing because it shows how desperate they are. They are forced to put out such obvious BS. However, I am a little confused when she said there are other organizations that have been more transparent. Now, I think she's talking about the FBI, since the members of Congress have been saying good things about the FBI's UFO office, whatever that actually is. But they have not been transparent. The FBI's UFO team or office, whatever it is, the real life X-Files, they may have been transparent or somewhat transparent to the members of Congress. That seems to have been the case. They're saying glowing things about the FBI unit, and Anna is talking about them being transparent, seemingly referring to that FBI unit. But they have not been transparent to the public. Arrow has been more transparent to the public than the FBI unit. So, I'm not super excited about that. But hey, I would love to be on board. Maybe they will, start releasing some amazing stuff, tomorrow. I'll believe it when I see it, though. So let me know what you guys think about it all. We've got this transparent unit. We've got her commenting on the disinformation. We've got a potential UFO hearing to look forward to before August. Who do you think they should call out? Let me know your thoughts about it all in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. Love to see you guys there. If you want to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store below, or by becoming a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really do appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.